Rich, hello. Greetings. Greetings. Scott, hello. You're supposed to get 12 inches of snow. Oh dear, wondrous Wednesday, yes. 12 inches of snow. That's more snow than I would like to get if I had my choice. And I don't. But you're wearing shorts today. Pants on or off, Rich? That's your call. 9 shopping days till Christmas. Oh my God, Christmas shopping. Who's shopping? What are you going to buy? What are you getting people? Pajamas? It's all pajamas this year. Pajamas and spacesuits. I'm looking for a sort of a spherical fishbowl space helmet. I'd like to get one of those. Haven't really done any looking yet, but that's what I'm looking for. Fishbowl space helmet or inflatable bubble boy suit that I can wear around. The numbers are up, and I'm looking to take precautions. Snow in Ohio, Dave says. Winter effing wonderland. Yes. Meanwhile, in Buffalo, it hasn't snowed. Rich, well, that's surprising. They love a good snowstorm there in Buffalo. Hello, Cindy. Good to see you. You want to go snow kayaking? Who wouldn't want to go snow kayaking? Is that a thing? It seems like you could get hurt. Those kayaks surfing on waves, the flipping over and getting hit in the head with the kayak, although that happens with surfboards too, and I'm not afraid of that. I'll go surfing. Although I haven't been surfing in a while. Your next time out is 12 days from now. Is that it, Scott? You're on. Are you on lockdown? Are you quarantining yourself? Have you been exposed? Did you test positive? I like to think of myself as trying to stay positive. I said to Lady Jerry this morning, Lady Jerry, who will not be here right now because she's got a board meeting for her nonprofit Grid LA today. Pick, you're still hoping to make some gifts. Yeah, well, best of luck. So I told Lady Jerry this morning that I feel like once you get out of bed, it's all downhill from there. And she thought I meant it was downhill, like, oh, down into, no, what I meant to, like, no, the hardest part is getting out of bed. Once you're out of bed, the rest of the day just kind of, it's like the domino effect. You just have to hit that first domino, and it's a smooth slope to bedtime. Oh, Scott, I'm glad to hear you didn't test positive. You're staying safe. You just tested positive for awesome, Dave. That is sweet. Congratulations, Dr. Awesome. That's what I'd like to be known as from now on. So, close up of the shirt that I'm wearing is just an Iowa guy living in a California world. This was sent to me by our friend Dana, fan of the show, and zoo employee for many years. Joan's son has COVID, day 2 of quarantine. Oh dear. Well, good luck taking care of him, and I hope that he's all right. Don, happy Wednesday. So I had an amazing, speaking of an Iowa guy in a California world, speaking of once you get out of bed, it's a downhill ride to the finish line from there. So I get up today, and admittedly this week I've been a little just like, what, it's the double whammy of we've got the vaccine, so we're turning a corner, but we got to go all the way back to where we started. So it's not like it's just boom, over, done. We gotta still got the rest of our journey, which is we're only halfway there. So I've been a little bit down, and today I made a mistake. Before I went for my swim. As you know, I've been going for an ocean dip most days. I mean, almost every day. And today was sunny and mid 60s. The air was mid 60s. And so I go down to the beach, and I'm going to go for my swim. Before I go down, I was curious. Yesterday it felt cold to me in the water, so I checked the temperature. And the way the ocean temperature site that I use works is they'll tell you today's and yesterday's. So I wanted to see yesterday's temperature, but then what I inadvertently found out was that yesterday was colder than the day before, which I had suspected, and today was colder than yesterday. So it's 58.8 or something like that today. So this is the early few days of being below 60 degrees, in the water, which is cold. If you've not been swimming in 58 degrees water, it's cold. But I'm used to it. I've been going every day, get in for 10 minutes. So I get down to the beach. I'm like, well, I got to go, even though I know it's colder today. Oh, wait, Cindy's got a question. Let me just stop everything. Been meaning to ask you, I know you don't remember your sister, but she was a member of Blue Stars at the time I was in high school together, when they were really in their heyday. Were you or are you a drum corps nut? I'm not a drum corps nut. I was in the marching band. We moved to La Crosse, my family and we moved to La Crosse between my sophomore and junior year of high school. So I was only at La Crosse Central High School for 11th and 12th grade. And I had been in the marching band prior to that, but when I came to La Crosse, the marching band worked differently, and I was in it as much for the social as for the music, or even more for the social, and the idea of trying out and proving to everybody that, hey, I'm a fun guy to have on the bus. I dropped out. So I dropped out of band, and that was the end of my trombone career. 10th grade is as far as I got. Dave, you're right. The worst is when you get out of bed and it's a downhill ride down the stairs. You gotta watch out for the stairs. Keys is saying, ask Jen about falling down the stairs. Those days are behind, Jen. Those falling down the stairs days. So I go down to the ocean for my swim. It's a little apprehensive in my mind today because I know the water is cooler than yesterday, and it felt cold yesterday. But when I get to the beach, there's a few people, 2 surfers are out, full wetsuits, and then there's a few people on the beach, but not many. It's a midweek, as we know. That's why they call it Hump Day. So, so my modus operandi is get my clothes off and go straight in. I got my mind right. I'm going in. That's all that's going to happen. So, I'm taking my clothes off, and I see just out past the break, less than 100 yards offshore, dolphins going by, which happens. You'll see if you go to the beach here down the hill from our house. So I've been going 6 weeks, and I'm just down there for the 10 minutes I'm in plus 5 on either side, so 20 minutes. And I would say out of that 6 weeks, there's been 3-4 days where during the time I was down there, the dolphins were going by. They like to go up and down the coast, kind of in the breakwater there. And and so I'm sorry, I was just reading Andrew's asking for some snark. I may get the snark. I didn't lose my wedding ring in the ocean, but my fingers they had been swollen, and so the rings that fit them now are different than the rings that fit them before. Anyway, so I see these dolphins, and that's a good sign, so I'm excited. It's cold, but I'm going in, and the dolphins are already in. They're always already in, but they happen to be right offshore. And I get out there, out past the break, and I've got surfers, on either side of me, and I see the dolphins are there's groups of them. Usually you maybe see 2 going together, or 4 sometimes. But there's a group of 4 that are over here about 50 yards away, and another group of 2 or 4, two groups of 2 over here, another 50 yards away. So they're on either side of me. And so I just sort of start drifty swimming over towards these dolphins. And they're, like I say, they're about 50, maybe not 50 yards, 50 feet, not that far away, 50 feet away. And then all at once, they're around me. And there's some that are 10 feet away, which is super close. I've never been that close to a dolphin in all my decades of living in California. They're closer than 10 feet away from me, a couple of these dolphins. So close that I can see the backs of their fins go up, and on the back edge of their fin, there's a little tears in their skin, and that's like fingerprints. Each one is different, the way that tear in the back of their fin is. And I can see the details on the backs of their fins, and the waves are going up and down, and so I can see as the wave goes up, there's a dolphin, his face sticks up right towards me. I can see his mouth and his eyes, and I can see their blowholes, and I can hear them. They're close enough that I can hear them as they're cavorting, and I'm surrounded by them. And at one point they get so close that I sort of subconsciously, I really want to touch them, but I subconsciously back up because it's like they're big and they're right next to me. And it was just wild. So that was in the first 3 minutes of my swim. There's dolphins all around me. I'm like, oh my God, it's a sunny day, and like I said, cool, but it's just beautiful, and these dolphins are right around me. And I was just exhilarated to be that close to these wild animals. Just it was exhilarating. And I'm swimming, and then I look at my watch, and I got another 6 minutes to go or whatever. And I'm just thinking about, oh, this is great. I can't wait to get out and tell Lady Jerry, Belinda, and my neighbor who's been swimming with me a couple days about what happened today. And then they come back again, and they're right next to me again for another few seconds. Just that same right by me. So I had just a fantastic swim in the ocean today with these beautiful dolphins, and it's close enough that I could see their individuality, like how different they were from one another. And like I said, 10 feet, that's super, 10 feet and maybe as close as 6 feet. It was really, really, really an amazing day. So I'm happy to tell you that even during these times when when it can feel like you just get out of bed and coast back to bed, and that's your day, even on a day like that, you can have a surprise like I had today. It was just really, really too terrific. Brad saying dolphins may be protecting me from sharks. Yeah, possibly. Dave said social dolphining. For some reason, that makes me laugh. Yeah. No, the dolphins were not social distancing, and they did not have any kind of covering over their blowholes. So if they had COVID, I've got COVID. Sadly, if I have COVID, they got COVID. Jen is saying she would like to point out that from August to September, foray down the stairs, you've had such a bad herniated disc, you can't walk more than 2 minutes at a time. Oh, Jesus, Jen. No wonder you're kind of feeling depressed. Finally, seriously injured yourself. Good news, you can't use stairs anymore. Did you get that motor thing that goes brrr, sideways up the stairs? Oh, my goodness. Dolphins probably got the blood flowing to warm me up. Yeah, the Dolphins did kind of make the day. Yeah, Jen, you're getting some support here in the chat. Yeah, I'm sorry that you fell down the stairs or you got so badly injured. This is the worst. You get up in the middle of the night, you go to the bathroom, you just finish, you go back to bed. Just before you pull the covers up, the alarm goes off. Of course, that was back in your working days. Don, yeah, well, I can't tell you how often that happens to me, where I go back to bed and I'm thinking, oh, I'm really going to get some more sleep, and I look at my watch and it's going to be 10 minutes. I just get up. I just forget it. I just get up. All right, so people are enjoying the dolphin story. Yeah, it was great. I didn't make the dolphins laugh, Brad. Should have told them my purpose in life. Oh, Jen, your daughter swam with dolphins at SeaWorld, and she said it was the best experience in the world. Yeah. Yeah, Jen, it's hard to tell who's mobile and who's immobile over the chat, but maybe you had said that and I forgot, but I don't think I realized that you had been that immobilized. I'm really... So now I know that. But yeah, the dolphins are great. Now every time I go down there, I'm going to be hoping it happens again. And I think the next time I'm down there, I may see if I can allow myself to brave getting a little bit closer to see if they'll let me touch them, or if they're interested in touching me. Pick, you went out. You had a dream that you and your mom went out running errands without wearing a mask. It was a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, it's weird now that the things when you're watching a TV show now and people just walk up to each other and hug. It's like, oh my God, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? So, what do we got? Oh, snark. Somebody requested some snark. I know that you probably just meant me snark, but I do have the snark handbook handy. Only there's 3 snowmen allowed in the yard at one time, and they have to wear masks. Joan, I like it. Swam with the dolphins in the Dominican Republic, Don says. It was great. Yeah, this was really something. I don't think, I would love to have those experiences that you're talking about where you actually get to touch the dolphins, but my understanding is, as from an animal rights standpoint, it's not so good. What do you know? We learn those things now. Oh, so here's some snark, and this is from my friend, Larry Brown, Larry Bubbles Brown, comedian from San Francisco. The most romantic thing a woman ever said to me was, "Are you sure you're not a cop?" Larry, I've seen him do that joke so many times. And this is from Sting. I said I could make love for 8 hours. What I didn't say was that this included 4 hours of begging and then dinner and a movie. Huh. I don't believe it, Sting. I think Sting is having an easier time in the romance department than that. But that's me. That's me being... I'm assuming that Sting has a better life in the sack than I do, and that may not be true. That may not be true. Effing Sting. Andrew, perhaps the Dolphins have gone back to their families to brag on how close they got to the Jake. The Jake. Yeah, I think so. I think so. That, or isn't it pretty to think so? So it's Hump Day. We're getting through this week. Like I said, this whole idea that there's a vaccine, but we can't get the vaccine, but some people are getting the vaccine. You know, I've thought about it since our discussion here about getting the vaccine. I would definitely get the vaccine. If I was offered the vaccine tomorrow, I would go get it. Not that that would get us back to normal any faster, but it would just be some peace of mind for me and Lady Jerry, I suppose. We're plotting our Christmas shopping. I don't know how much Christmas shopping we need to do. Of course, where would I most like to travel? I've been asking myself this question now, and so we're taking out destinations here in the United States that have to do with stand-up. So this is where would I most like to travel on a vacation, and I think probably our first camping type trip is going to be to some kind of natural park, if we get a van or not. But I think Grand Canyon is pretty close. That would be great. I think we may take a trip up to Mammoth in January, Mammoth, California. But where would I most like to travel? I'd really like to get back to New Zealand. I know that Lady Jerry would like to get back there and see her family, and I would like to see them. And there's just so many beautiful places in New Zealand. So that I would like to travel to New Zealand. When I'm thinking about where else I would like to travel right now, vacation travel, not counting, forgetting about COVID or whatever. Would I want to go? Would I want to take Lady Jerry and Little Jerry to Norway? I would. I'd like to do that. I've never been to India, and I'd really like to go to India. I'd like to go to Africa, see the animals. Keys is saying he and Uma would like to go to Mount Kilimanjaro. The vaccine, Jen, is available now to, it's not even available, they're just giving it to emergency workers and I think older endangered people. That's as far as I know. Jen, you heard some rumor that people are getting Bell's palsy from the vaccine. I don't, that wouldn't worry you unless you knew someone who got Bell's palsy from a vaccine, which you do know. Well, I think that this vaccine is these are different types of vaccines from the other kinds of vaccines, so I feel like those traditional rumors and risks are less applicable to this current vaccine, but you know, it's all academic pandemic right now because we're not getting the vaccine. Brad, Estes Park, Colorado, camping. That sounds good. Scott, East Oakland. It's beautiful in East Oakland this time of year. Come visit the Smokies pick. Yeah. You're number one in the Smokies. Yeah, I did love the Smoky Mountains when I was a kid. We used to go to Gatlinburg all the time because we lived in Tennessee. Andrew's asking me, Jake, do you think some of the resistance to taking the vaccine just has to do with needles? Yeah, possibly. Could be made a pill form. More people would be willing. Yeah, I do think that people associate the needles with more risk. Certainly when you're talking about recreational drugs. Once the needles come out, the amateurs go home. Not that I'm some kind of a hardcore drug addict, but yeah, I do think that makes a difference. Jen, one of the judges from the Great British Baking Show just got the vaccine. Yeah, well, they do things over there differently over there in Britain, giving their baking show hosts the vaccine first. But that's what they do. Keys, been to India? Well, I would have guessed that. Yeah, I'd like to go sometime. If we do go, I'll definitely hit hit you up for some recommends. Joan would like to go to Tennessee. Yeah, I recommend the Smoky Mountains. So beautiful. Brad, safari trips to 2 parks in Tanzania, most memorable trip of your life thus far. Yeah, Brad, that sounds like a great trip. It's a real question where in Africa you would go to do your safaris. I hadn't heard Tanzania before, but I'm into that. These vaccines are not grown in eggs, etc. Ed is saying, so that's how we know. Pick is saying Bell's palsy was ruled coincidence. Was that by a legitimate referee, uniform, not one of those Foot Locker refs rules that. So where would I like most to travel next? I'm going to say India. You know what I heard is beautiful is I'm wanting to say Genghis Khan was from where that high plains. Oh my God, what is wrong with my brain that I can't say this? But that I've heard that's a great place. Brad says, or Key says, highly encouraged safari. Did one in South Africa, very fun. Broken Bow, okay, is a beautiful camping spot. Broken Bow, Oklahoma. I hadn't really thought of a trip to Oklahoma, Jen. I hadn't really thought of that. But yeah, Gary, Indiana is nice. I was just watching that first episode of the Newhart show on Hulu last night, and Emily is afraid of flying. And that's why they had their honeymoon in Gary, Indiana. It was a funny. If you've got the Hulu, the Bob Newhart show on Hulu, why not? Needle's worse because the drug hits you stronger. It doesn't make it work differently. People act like a shot always stays in your body forever. Don, for some reason you always wanted to go to Spain. I do have Spain on my list also. I've never been to Barcelona, and I'd love to see that. Jake, did you go on safari when you were in South Africa? I went on one in Kruger National Park. No, I've never been to South Africa. That was a part of Russell Peters' tour that I didn't get to go on. The Himalayas. No, Jen, the Himalayas is not what I was thinking of. Where are the Mongols from? Mongolia. Mongolia. That's what I was thinking of. Scientists said the palsy came up in 4 cases, but would have happened anyway. Okay. Ed, we love Africa. We've been to Morocco, Egypt, Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. We're supposed to go back to Botswana and South Africa this summer. Yeah, I remember that. You had said that. I'd like to go that. Yeah, Ed, I will have to hit you up on that. Spend a summer in Alaska, Keith. Yeah, I have been only to Juneau and thereabouts. So we also took the ferry, the Alaska State Ferry, for a day up the coast, and that was beautiful. But yeah, Alaska in the summer, unbelievable. Dave is saying Alaska is rad. Pictures don't do it justice. Yeah, Alaska, just amazing. Alaska is a place where I was out in a kayak, and a whale, humpback whale, within 20 feet of the kayak, surfaced and blew out. It was great. Hi, Julie. Julie's saying hi. Safaris in Kenya was great. So was Angkor Wat in Cambodia. Yeah, David, I have thought about Angkor Wat in Cambodia. I have heard that particular place is now very well traveled and trafficked, or at least pre-pandemic. And so I think there's other places in Cambodia where you can see the same type of ruins, but aren't so destinified. Anyway, Keys have a friend that traveled about a bike ride across Vietnam. That sounds interesting, and I'm wondering how flat Vietnam is. I'm enjoying my bike riding, but I don't think I'm ready for a whole going after over a mountain range. You know, I don't think I'm ready to be riding my bike over a mountain. Well, Lady Jerry hopefully will be here tomorrow. I know that she wanted to be here today. I told her the dolphin story already. She was very excited about it. But hopefully we'll see Lady Jerry tomorrow. How about a book of questions question? Sometimes you feel like, how many questions are in here? There are a lot. Question 186. If you decided to do something and your friends strongly advised you not to, could you do it anyway? I could. Unless their advice not to was based on personal experience that was meaningful to me. If they said, "Oh, you shouldn't do that because you'll get sick and throw up," or "I lost an eye doing that," I might not do it. But if they said, "No, you shouldn't drop out of college to become a stand-up comedian," I would do that anyway. Just as an example of a thing that I did where everybody told me not to do. Well, a lot of people have had Alaska experiences. Pick first visit to Alaska, went in February, beautiful. Second time in December. Now you understand the alcoholism rate. Yeah, I think, although I've got a friend who lives up there now, and she says winter is one of her favorite times. I took an Alaska cruise, Dave says, on a new ship and went into the glacier area. We were out on deck and the captain was up on the outside bridge, and someone expressed concern about his banking the ship off icebergs and such, and he actually said, "You can't sink this ship." The silence was deafening. Yeah, I bet it was. Although I might have said, "Remember the Titanic," if I had been there. Brad from Iowa, I do volunteering in South Africa with rhinos and conservation of many species. Fabulous hands-on experiences and dirt cheap humanitarian flights. $395. Wow, that sounds like a great. Looking to go back to Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, but poachers killed 2 of your rhinos out there. Oh God. In spite of the fact that they were dehorned. God, that would be heartbreaking, Brad. Keith was going to take his pandemic up to was going to take his RV up to Alaska before the pandemic. How about a few blasts in Lady Jerry's honor? Andrew, I thought you would never ask. Julie, first visit to Alaska, stayed for 20 years. Wow. Ed, you're saying it's amazing that Jake is doing this every day. It's starting to feel like you're in a death cult game of chicken with the daily update. If it's not quitting, I can't quit either. I'm not quitting. Listen, I don't know if you're going to die while you're on the show. I hope nobody dies on the show. So far, as far as I know, so good. But I do think about this, and I do think about like some days I would, like today, I really want to go to Costco, but I'm going to go after the show. And if I didn't have this, I would be a little lost. And if you guys weren't here, I would have stopped doing this a long time ago. So we're keeping each other going, I hope, but I also hope we're not playing some kind of game of chicken, and anyone who feels like they've got better things to do is absolutely, I suggest and encourage you to do those things. But that said, that's not going to stop me, and it's not going to stop the rest of us. Hang in there, everybody. Stay strong. Let's try and be nice to each other. Oh my God, I have a story about being nice to each other, but that's for tomorrow, if you can remind me. Today's Seize the Day is from Germany, Kent. Stop giving people the power to control your smile, your worth, your attitude, and your day. Don't give anyone that much power over your life. Yeah, those dolphins could show up at any moment and turn this around. So anybody who is telling you some kind of terrible nonsense about anything to do with you, don't listen to them. Keep an eye out for the dolphins. Stop giving people the power to control your smile, your worth, your attitude, and your day. Don't give anyone that much power over your life. Don't do that. And also, don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to give up later. Don't worry, Jen, the show is not going to end before the Varinus. Everybody have a great night. Jen, take care of yourself. God, just the thought of you been lying there this whole time. I'm I laugh so as not to cry. Heart goes out to everybody. Thanks for being here. Happy Hump Day. Don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to give up later. I said that. I love saying it.